a session on this customer experience day. Uh, I'm Asia's first certified customer experience mentor, and I have great panelist CX leaders uh, whom I'm going to tap into their genius to talk about today's topic, which is about transforming customer experience through artificial intelligence. And warm welcome to Raman, Rahul, Kumut.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajat.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you, Rajat.
Brief introduction. Rahul used to work with Google. He recently moved to a new role as a vice president of customer experience at Aspire, and extremely passionate about customer experience. We've had some great interactions. So thank you, Rahul, for taking time to be on this live.
Thank you, Rajat. Absolutely a wonderful opportunity to be part of this panel and be part of this forum today.
Great. Welcome, Kumud. Kumud and me have been, in touch for a pretty long time as part of CX community, CX mastery. Kumud is Senior Group Vice President, Motilal Oswal Financial Services. She's also top 100 CX Professional Award winner. Recently, she won just few days back. She's one of the finalists for CX Leader of the Year 2023 and many, many more. Congratulations, Kumud, for
Congratulations.
your these amazing achievement in CX space. And one thing is unique about Kumud is her, positivity kind of. I really have told her many times is fills up the room. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rajat. Grateful to be a part of this event and that too on today's day, that is CX. I mean, customer being close to all our heart, everybody's heart out here. So thank you so much for calling us.
Welcome. So we have Raman Gopal as well, and I have known Raman, as a wonderful human being. We started interacting, of course, like everyone else here for customer experience,
Yeah.
and I've seen Raman building a great practice of customer experience and really leading from the front, growing its strength to strength, and we had several discussions on what's happening in that front. Raman is a vice president customer experience with Connect Business Solutions Limited, which is a subsidiary of Quest Corporation Limited.
Yeah.
Welcome, Raman. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Rajat. It's great to be here. I think, yeah. Look forward to a great session.
Superb. So, why are we here? Of course, the reason is this is the day every year celebrated globally as a customer experience day to mark the work, the passion, the contribution in the CX space by leaders, by practitioners, by people who support customers. And it's celebrated on the first Tuesday of October every year. So, that's the reason we are here. And it's what a wonderful timing because we are going to talk about artificial intelligence, which, of course, you know, the panelists would talk more about that is one of the hottest, most trending subject at this point. And we are CX professionals. So that's the reason we want to hear how AI is changing the world of customer experience, right? Give me a thumbs up if panelists, if you're excited about this topic today to talk about this. Give me a thumbs up.
Absolutely. I mean, double thumbs up.
Yeah, right. Because I'm sure the audience are going to be. So I want to thank any one of you who's live here or is going to watch this recording later. Thank you for taking out time. I'm sure you will have many takeaways. Also, I want to invite you to participate, ask questions if you have, and share your feedback as we go along. So let's open this up. And my first question to all of you, actually, I'm going to go around. There's
Okay.
one question which I would expect all of you to answer is, what's the one biggest impact that you are seeing AI is making today in our lives? And let me start by setting the context. I would say, you know it has made me more productive, which means I get to produce more in in the same amount of time. So product being more productive is my take on that. I would go to Raman as I see on the screen. Raman, what do you think is the single biggest impact you're seeing for yourself or around you?
I think significant reduction in effort, of both, both the sides of it, the customer side as well as the supplier side. you would find that reduction in effort has significantly dropped, and the overall process has become more enjoyable now, because you kind of let the AI do all the routine and mundane stuff, and you do the better of things, which is more creative, more strategic in nature.
Like that. Great. So enjoyable, and you can focus on strategic and creative.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Kumud, what's your take? What do you think has changed for you around you is the biggest one thing because of AI at this point?
Yes, I think what Raman also added, that focus, our focus on doing what is, more creative or critical to business, right? Rather than focusing, or giving our energies to the mundane or repetitive task, that has really come down. So now, if I see my people are really investing time in doing some kind of productive, as you said as well. So I would say focus on critical activities have improved a lot, being AI into picture. Otherwise,
Okay.
that was somewhere missing.
Agree.
Yeah,
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
because nobody wanted to do, but yeah, I mean because of the other work, it was getting missed out.
Right. Right.
Um,
Great. I think we are seeing all of us using AI, right? Which was earlier not never the case, or it was more focused for some. So thanks for that, Kumud. I hear you saying more focused on critical, maybe creative work. Rahul, what's your take? What has changed in and around you?
I think to begin with, both Raman and Kumud has already covered this, but I see that this is a phenomenal opportunity for everybody around us, including us, to really witness this new era where we are experiencing products and services with the use of artificial intelligence, where technology is helping us do things at a better rate, at a faster rate, at an accurate rate. So imagine this: all of us, our own uh, ability to really think now, strategically think, at a much bigger scale with the use of artificial intelligence. It's now the era that we are in, and I'm really glad to see that we'll continue to evolve in this era and witness many more such newer technologies coming in and changing into the way we all operate. So
Fantastic. Great. So I think you also talked about better, faster, accurate. One of the examples that personally I'm using ChatGPT a lot. How many of you are using? Give me a, hands up if you're using it. So yeah, everybody's smiling. I think you're using it really well, it seems. And I think I can see that smiles.
when it
One
has
of
reduced a lot of typing work, or you can say searching work,
searching work, right?
using as a search engine. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. And one of the things, one of the tools, I mean, I keep looking and a lot of people are talking about tools. One of the tools that I want to share with everyone who's listening, here is I've started using a tool which, has reduced, how many of you really get a lot of emails which are useless, right? More of them than the ones
Yeah,
which are useful.
yeah.
So this tool actually has send me only one or two emails. The rest of this AI tool kind of throws away in a different bucket, right? So I loved it, and the pricing is also pretty reasonable, and that's a big one. I mean, coming at that price and making the life so easy. This is one example, and there are so many more that we keep hearing. I would love to hear from you specific example of AI, because this for me as a customer is a absolutely amazing experience. So I'm going to quickly come back to you Will, with your some of the examples or stories that you may have where you have seen AI now making it so easy, like you said, enjoyable, faster, right? I mean, this is my example. I'm also going to share a message that has come in. Yeah, here it is. Someone is saying, Gautam, again, thanks, Gautam, for joining. Gautam is saying access to hacks and special knowledge, irrespective of any industry. So that's thanks for sharing that
True,
perspective of yours. That's true.
true.
Absolutely. Now let me go, Kumud. What would be your? Do you have any example where you're seeing this as really any example or story that you can say AI has helped improve the customer experience?
So I would say, I will take a simple example of email classification. Like being into a retail business, we used to get around, the volumes are quite high in a day basis also, like 4,000, 5,000 emails. And during pandemic, it was very difficult to get all those resolved within a particular turnaround time to my customers. So there, we identified a solution where emails can be classified automatically and then probably responded also to the customer. I would not say 100% can be responded, but today we are standing on a 50% rate that is getting responded by the bots itself. So what is happening is that 50% of bandwidth that I got, that helped me to improve the ATAT ratio by 20-25%. It got me that growth. Like where I was, standing at 67%, today I'm standing at 96%. TAT
Wow.
ratio. So it is like really helped me to get all my team's focus uh, on the critical issues and avoid all those small issues which has been handled by the system itself. And it brought a lot of scalability as well.
Hmm.
Tomorrow I know if somebody is asking me a process or if somebody is asking me a status, I don't need to really put a manpower over there, right? It can be handled by a bot. Only the thing is, with bot you need to understand and you need to provide right kind of data and training,
Hmm.
right? Because it should not happen that that we are going to have a fancy solution of AI and it is not giving me the right solution. So it is
Hmm.
very very important that as CX leaders we are very cautious of using these tools and understand where exactly it is required and where it is not. So that bifurcation is very very important. I think if you're getting 50-60% of the work automated, that's also a big jump,
Hmm.
Indeed.
and then probably you can sort it out later. So this is one of the example of email classification. One more example can I give? I mean, uh,
Yeah.
like earlier, yeah. So we give a lot of advisory based, research or recommendations to our customers. So what happened earlier was, uh, there was a list and which was given to the team and they used to call all the customers. But now, what has happened with data scientists coming into the picture, we are getting the exact market or the exact client group where they need to focus. Like, I don't need to call 100 customers. I just need to focus on my 10 customers and give the same amount of productivity which I was, wasting calling, making calls to those 90 customers. So, these kind of empowerment to our advisors have been a great, I would say, facilitator. I mean, technology has really helped us to get into that kind of environment where team is also relaxed now. Earlier, like 100 call karo, आज नहीं होता है वैसे, like today you
Hmm.
just focus on these 10-20
Hmm.
and you get the results. So this is the power of AI if used correctly.
Yeah,
That
I
also
think
it's a double
so.
edged
So give me a yes if you think that the great examples, Kumud, thanks for sharing. I couldn't hold myself because do you think therefore the end customer would also give a thumbs up to you as a service provider where your 97% TAT is what you're achieving? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs
sword.
down if you think just not anything else, but give me a thumbs up if your AI is also giving your customer would give a thumbs up for what you're changing at your end. Thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
I mean, it's a competitive advantage that you get,
Great.
wherein now what happens is my staff who are, FOS, they also write on query because they know I'll get the answer.
Okay.
And my
Great.
answers are basis API integration. So they will actually get a statement. They'll
Okay.
not just get a process. So
Okay.
they are
Great.
like, writing and getting the answers.
Great. Thank you for that. Rahul, I want to come to you and I want to again ask you from you what is one of your favorite examples in terms of really real life story of AI improving experience?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I have two. One is more personal, second is more professional. But
Yeah.
I think the personal example to me is more like a revolution for so many of us. And this personal example, very similar to what Kumud is sharing. Back in the day, this is about the personal finance. So back in the day, I would, go and buy, let's say, a mutual fund or a bond or a, share, more in a physical format, right? And I would have no advisory, or I would have advisory that I would go to, let's say, an advisor, and based on their understanding and what they are selling to us, from their incentive perspective, they will tell you, right? That is what the model used to be. Versus some of the personal investing apps, and Motilal Oswal is one such, but there are quite a few others as well, where the using the artificial intelligence in the back end, really going through a large complex data, the personal recommendations in terms of what to go after, which fund to actually look at, why you should not be investing into, let's say, a particular investment solution that you are tapping into. To me, it's a revolution because now, at the click of a just on an app, I can actually pretty much consolidate all my insights and then take a very wise and a informed decision as compared to what I used to do it earlier. So that to me is a revolution in many ways because this can really help not just me but many others who can really benefit from investment decisions and do it at their own way. Rather, it seems like you're on mute.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, great example, Raman. Rahul. I think it's probably making it easy for your customers. This example allows the power of intelligence into the hands of the investor. So thanks for sharing that, Raman. I want to move to you and ask you, what's your favorite?
Well, there are many, in fact, Kumud and Rahul, thanks for sharing your use cases. In fact, I've kind of been collecting these use cases, only in the interest of understanding. Yes, many of what Kumud has mentioned, that even if you see some green shoots, it's still better off because you are leveraging the power of AI. In my case, I think one thing where we have made very progressive, steady and progressive, path so far is on the how do we kind of make the whole structured and unstructured data that is around the enterprise data, right? How do you kind of make use of that data? Because that's where the gold is. And we grew up listening to VOCs, right, as a central theme of every improvement that you do. I mean, we drive a campaign called Meri Awaaz Suno. I mean,
Okay.
making the customer as the center. So,
Hmm.
I mean, yes, I mean, as part of the outsource service provider, we engage with omni-channel interaction with across all, touch points where the customer prefers, whether it is voice channels and non-voice channels. And that kind of brings you all big data, right? And before AI, this was impossible, to kind of unearth gold out of it. But with AI coming in, this is kind of becoming reality now, where seamlessly we are able to unearth insights which you can improve customer experiences, insights you can improve your customer engagements, identify new sources of value creation in terms of what customers are liking, what customers are not liking, design the experiences accordingly, right? At the same time, inwardly, look at insights which can improve your end services in terms of it gives you seamless identification of training need inputs for your workforce, right? And it can pointingly tell you which particular area you need to improve upon, right? And lastly, customer sentiments, right? So no, you don't need to do an explicit surveys anymore to understand the pulse of your customers, right? We're familiar with CSATs and net promoter scores and all of that. You can do that much more, in a predictable manner and more proactive manner today. So I think, I'm kind of in awe of what's happening on the big data front and how AI is, making an impact on that field.
Fantastic. Thanks for that example, Raman. I'm kind of also finding it, for example, as simple as Chat GPT. Now you put in your customer's persona and you ask it what could be their pain points. Has any one of you tried that, or through any other tool? Like, I'm a CX professional, like
Yeah.
most of you, and we design customer experiences, right? I, in fact, had to make a proposal to one of the companies. I put their profile, and I asked ChatGPT, I have this presentation to make. What do you think would be a persona? And they were supposed to talk to me about customer journey. And I said, what are the key points which I should discuss about the customer journey? It gave me, and I mean, the most amazing thing is the speed, right? While I'm typing and I'm just hit the button, enter, and it's kind of showing the response, right? So that's the speed of inputs that are coming. But how do I use it, right? I couldn't use it all. So, all the people who are listening, and of course, I'm discussing it with panelists. we are on one side, we are seeing this intelligence so mature and so fast. On the other side, if I just applied it and I came up with my own version, which landed so well in the actual presentation, right? So it's a combination of probably the creativity that each one of us would bring and what AI has to offer. Now, let's shift some gear. And I want to ask you, do you think, like the world is talking about, especially since we are talking about customer experience, and I have often read and also sometimes written about it, do you think the AI is going to make the experience less human? What's your take? Let me first go to Rahul. And Rahul, let me hear from you. Is AI going to take away the human element much more than what it used to be earlier? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this question has come up, I think, pretty much in every forum that I have been part of. And my answer is the answer is big no. Not at this stage, that
Yes.
we are in a stage, where we can say I can replace human and, AI will be able to handle everything. Yes, take a look at it. AI or this technology is still evolving, which means that I'll give you an example. We've seen chatbots pretty much in many organizations today leverage chatbots to support their customers. Now we are moving into the guided support experience. And what is guided support experience? You have your customer coming, calling through the help center, looking for something, and your bot is now conversing with the customer in the language that they expect and they want to listen to, and being able to help the customer to resolve instead of a very typical plain if this then yes, and that bot that we have been experiencing. Now imagine this in a very complex stage where the bot or the guided support experience is unable to provide the right experience to the customer. Something has gone wrong, the customer is still frustrated, right? This is the time that the agent will jump in and actually recover the service recovery, or recover from experience perspective from a client side. So in my very strong view, we are at the interplay of human and technology, and we need to continue to look at how we can complement each other. Kumar gave an example, some of very low touch, low analytical queries, can be handled by the bot or by technology. Yes, that is true. But don't expect that the humans, would be replaced by technology right yet as of now. I think we are still evolving, and we continue to be the custodian of the customer experience, right? Technology is enabling you. It's not just the answer, it is enabling you. And if it can help you to make it easy, if it can help you to make it efficient, more importantly, if it is helping you to make it accurate for the customer, that's where you will use technology. Hence, my answer is no. The humans are not getting replaced right away. It's a long journey that we are on.
Okay, you saved many jobs and many emotions, relieved many people. Thank you for that answer, Rahul. It's great to know, heartening to know that. Kumud, I want to come to you and I want to ask you, since you talk lot about empathy and also employee experience. What's your take in terms of, how do you think? While I asked Rahul about whether it's going to take away the human part, I want to ask you, how can it enhance empathy? Because which is what we keep talking. Sometimes it's a overused term, but in reality, do you think the AI is going to increase empathy, or these are two different streams? You have to hold on to empathy and you have to also leverage technology, or somewhere you see AI can complement and actually improve the ability to empathize with the customers more. What's your take?
So, Rajat, as we said, almost Rahul has taken it to a level. And I would just like to add that if the lift has come, that doesn't mean the liftman is out of the job. Still today, we find liftmen, in the town, in the BSE center, if you go. So it is like, if I have to talk about, human and technology, technology is an enabler, right? It is facilitating humans to do a better job, right? And my take on it is that at strategic level also we are driving phygital approach. That is where technology has to be like bots, wherever bots are able to answer, fine. But then you need to understand where the bots will not take over. For example, if you book a Ola, right? If you need a driver, still the driver, you can call the driver, right? It's a simple example of digital approach. Similarly, here also, today we provide a solution wherein if the customer is writing on the bot, but still if he wants to chat with somebody, he can go and chat. You should allow him. Okay, so it's I would say they complement each other, and technology is there to better enhance the job. And I would say empathy will never go out of question. I mean, in countries like India at least. I mean, since we are in India, but globally also, see, empathy is one area which is which will be there. And obviously, I my take is that they complement each other. And as CX leaders, we should see and implement projects that it cannot be 100% automated, but yes, where customers require your help. If somebody has lost a credit card, you are just going him playing automated voice bot, it will not give him a good experience, right? So let's understand where exactly it is we have to stop, and then bring human into picture.
I really like that you understand where you have to stop, and I also like that example of the lift gets automated, but the lift man still is there. I think that's again quite interesting, quite nice to know, and very relieving. I was actually talking to someone. He sent me a message saying, and he's at a vice president level, senior leadership, and he said that suddenly I have received a message from the CEO. All the leadership is going to go through mandatory AI training.
Hmm.
My question is going to be, Raman, I'm going to come to you. On the question is going to be that, are you training, you're training your people in your organization? Are you open to train them on AI, and what kind of training do you think will help them? I'm just going to share some responses coming up. Thank you, Pawan, for your comment. Um, Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so Pawan is saying you cannot take human out of
Yeah,
CX, right? Yeah,
that was
so
the point.
that's one profound
Very well said.
statement from, looks like a divine intervention or a message. The crisp and short of that. Thanks, Pawan. And I also want to share what we have. Few more comments coming in. It seems to be a very interesting, intriguing message topic for everyone to respond. Here we have Santosh Vijay. Thank you, Santosh, for being here. Thanks for your message. Again, see, God created humans so that we can serve God. Wow. And then I'm reading, not the other way around. Similarly, we created AI so that AI can serve humans. So just like Kumud mentioned, technology is an enabler. So on that, you know I want to share with you, which might be very interesting. Someone ran a query on AI. It could be chat GPT, and you can try that. Would you overtake humans someday? And the response was interesting and scary, and said it may happen, right? So while and I was listening to one of the AI experts. I don't know if many of the panelists may know, but AI is like humans learn. It learns continuously on its own, and the way it learns is what we can't control. All we can control is to give it a brain and the intelligence to learn. So it may learn things. That's the reason they also highlight the danger of it, which is what we are not going to delve into. That it may learn things which we never intended to, right? So you be aware of that. That's why they are talking about moderation, right? While we have to be hopeful, positive, we have to be aware and more, in control. So thanks, Santosh, for that message. We have Aritram also sharing some comment before we move forward. I come back to you, Raman, because I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to listen on these valuable
Sure.
inputs and messages. So here we have Aritram saying, human-centered AI can empower human with the right facilities
True.
for improving CX. Absolutely. Thank you, Aritram. I think all of you are talking about humans being in charge, and I think that's what we have to ensure. Thanks for your inputs, participation, and being here. Raman, are you
Yeah.
investing? Are you looking? Is it happening? Or everybody is talking about AI, but are you enabling your teams? And if
Yeah.
yes, in what way?
And I would start by resonating what Rahul had mentioned, that AI cannot replace humans, and it should rather empower or enable human capacities, capabilities further up. So realizing that impact, Rajat, what we are doing is we are at least creating a council of people known as CX champions within the organizations, right? At least to walk them through the use cases of AI. Now, I mean, it's very important to understand how do what are the use cases? Like you rightly mentioned, it can have very destructive use cases as well. But on the other side of the coin, there are impactful use cases which is coming up. I mean, look at what Gen AI is doing to AI, right? I mean, in a very crude manner, just before the Gen AI, uh, there wasn't so much of visibility that we see today, right? And Gen AI has almost kind of turbocharged the whole AI atmosphere. So it's very important that there should be very intensified awareness among the users who are fronting customer experience, empower them with the tools and knowledge to deal and enable AI. Look at AI use cases, look at small wins, look at allow them, be open for experiments. So Rajat, the short answer to your question is yes. Through CX champion vehicle, we are spreading the awareness around AI, automation, and all the next gen technologies, right? That can have a significant impact on business success metrics, both for customers as well as for business.
Okay, great. Um, so my question, thank you for that, Raman. I really like that CX champion and you are empowering CX champion. And I think you mentioned earlier also you're gathering these use cases. It's a really a very prudent approach. You're keeping an eye on what kind of use cases. Each one of you shared examples. Kamut talked about that TAT going up by 97%. Um, so that's great. Anirban, are you able to hear? I see you joining in. Thanks for being here. Are you able to hear?
Very loud and clear, Rajat. I
Okay, great.
was, I was on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Anirban, we will leverage your presence as well. Thank you so much for being here. A quick introduction for everyone who's watching and for the panelists as well. Anirban is Vice President Data Analytics Practice at Tech Mahindra, and I asked him because I remember he travels a lot. So when I last checked with him, he has traveled 36 countries, and whenever I message him, he responds from anywhere out of India. So I don't know anyone more than 36 countries here. No one. So Anirban, the kind of that record goes to you in the panelist. I also haven't. That's a big number. I might have flew above them, but that's not. He has gone to those countries. Okay, I want to make it clear, not in transition, not while going to UK, stopovering at Germany. No, not like that. He's been there and spent days and worked in those countries. So Anirban, with that, welcome. I want to ask you straight into the discussion with no time to kind of warm up. I want to understand you work in this data analytics space. What has changed in your world? I really want a fresh example, a real world example which is really latest in your mind, because you travel also a lot, you work with different customers, but we're not looking at that. I'm really looking at, like, I shared an example of my email getting cleaned. Okay, well, many examples came in. What's your favorite latest example of a real world story of AI impact which is amazing?
Sure. First of all, Rajat, you are very kind, and thank you so much. Privilege is all mine being a part of this forum, being your friend and one of your ex-colleagues as well. So thank you once again for the exceptional introduction. Nothing of that sort. Just have to do for the sake of work. Now, coming to the example, something really which has moved the needle, if I may, I would have to keep my eyes and ears open on both sides of the fence. While there have been many things good, there have been many things quite perilous, quite concerning as well. Now, whilst the good things are for here to be exploited, to be reaped, and to give benefits to everybody, from them, we would need to be very, very cognizant and very much circumspect on the negative elements which are quite profound. Starting from deep fakes, and so many things are happening across the globe. So there are many things that have changed. Really, you suddenly see uh, John F. Kennedy standing with, let's say, an Amit Shah, giving an odd example, right? And you realize, oh, was it really the case? So these very odd situations coming into the video world, even now videos can be morphed, and thanks to AI and thanks to, Gen AI is one arm of that. Now, there's one example which somewhat, I would not say cut me to the quick, but I was quite surprised pleasantly. And many of us may have read about it, but I happened to sort of experience it almost in a recent trip of mine to Frankfurt. Now, Rajat, you would recollect it was in 2005. Not many would know that I saved some 200 pounds a month and I bought a Rolex. So I fancy, Rolex as a brand. And of course, it was the lowest end. Very recently, I was tracking the modus operandi of Rolex's advertising, something which has a direct hit on customer experience, something which is very likely and very prone to be augmented, to be wowed, to be pampered, yeah, for the benefit of the customer. Now, Rolex, in its own way today, has augmented not just AI, they've also enabled AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality, in their adverts. And a person in the comfort of her or his home can exactly see how a Rolex would fit, if she or he were to sport it. And completely AR, VR driven and AI augmented. Now, a person who is possibly having a little bit of a challenge to go to a Rolex shop, and the only challenge is that she or he has a capability to buy one. This small augmentation, which gives a significant addition and enhancement to the customer experience, to the enhancement of that customer, be it a new one, be it an old one. It should be a capable one, of course. The person must be capable of buying a new one, obviously. Otherwise, why would she or he spend time? This is one example at a very high end. At a mundane end, that's something which was again quite surprising. People tend to look down and watch their mobiles on the roads. You're looking down and watching your mobiles and you're walking on the roads. It's a habit which is very common nowadays. It's not something which is unheard of or unseen. This is the norm today, right? And of course, on the Western world, roads are much more sparse. Unlike India, you can't take that risk in India, although unfortunately, people are right now seen with such habits. Now, a very weird sort of innovation, again, AI driven, is if somebody is walking, uh, towards, watching the mobile and then crossing the road, you have sensors on the road which are able to sense that you are looking there, and there are signals sent to caution you that a car might be coming. Something maybe very
Yeah,
odd, something may sound very mundane,
yeah, I think it's an
something,
interesting, both are interesting
yeah.
use
So these
cases.
two recent ones
Fantastic.
which I came across, yeah, that's from me,
Yeah,
Rajat.
great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that, Anirban, and sharing those interesting example. And obviously, your passion for watches is evident. So good to know that as well, and especially Rolex. All right, Rahul, I want to come to you, and you've also worked with Google. And I remember I had the chance to, speak at Google as a speaker on customer experience, and there I learned many things because YouTube is now Google company, and I learned many things they do in order to, you know, uh, enhance the adoption of YouTube and what all is capable. Also, I remember Sundar Pichai giving early, probably sometime back, that presentation of assisted experience on CX, especially. And so much so, when I was about preparing the presentation for Google, and I gave that framework, which I often give, is 3 E's. Many of you know that: easy, enjoyable, and efficient. And they said, can you add the word assisted? The Google team told me. I said, yeah, definitely. And then they elaborated saying, look, when you use Google Maps, it assists you where you park the car. When you use emails, it tells you the next word, which was, on a big stage
Predictive
launched
text.
by Sundar Pichai.
Mhm.
So Rahul, you worked with companies like Google. Tell me, and you use the word assisted in your initial address. Can you tell me assisted experience, AI assisted experience, where is it going? And do you have any example from any of your experiences, including recent or previous?
Yeah, I think two examples that stands out. One, I don't know if all of you are using, and the audience who's listening, on this call, if you are using it, but Gmail has an option and a feature that can really help you compose an email with a predictive text, right? So that's a very good example of a assisted over here. The second is
Yeah, I'm using, yeah.
the very first example that I shared, the guided support experience. You have AI pretty much crawling, your entire help center, and really when the customer is coming, with the specific uh, information, they are looking for, your guided support experience is actually providing you with the responses that should really satisfy the customer needs and would not really require a manual, support team, to actually come in and really help the customer. In case if that guided support experience is not working for the customer, that's when the human would really come in and take over that. So these two examples in my mind, and there are many more, many others as well, but these two stands out, right in the top in my list.
Great. Thank you, Rahul. I really like the example. I just want to go to the audience, to the listeners. If you're there listening this, watching this live, feel free to ask your questions and also share one of your favorite AI story. You can link it also. Share the link if there's a link. We want more people here to talk about their AI driven experience as a consumer. Um, Now, my question to everyone over here, quick, small question is, um, if you are investing in AI as an organization in terms of CX, uh, what is the percentage of investment of AI you have, a ballpark? How much has it gone up in the last 1 year? Like if you were investing of your total budget, let's say 10% of your total budget in CX technologies, how much of that, now we hear a lot about conversational AI, chatbots, how much of that is, you may not have the exact number right now, but you may say, so I would go around each one of you. If you don't have a number, that's also fine, because that may not be your main job, but you may say it's significantly high, right? So like, let me go to Raman. Raman, has it gone up for you? And do you have a ballpark of by how much AI for
Yeah.
CX?
Rajat, I'll put it that eventually, this has become a central focus for any organization.
Hmm.
Here at Connect, we are also setting up something called as Center of Excellence for AI,
Hmm.
and the next gen technology. So obviously, will be significant investments that is coming in, not just for building awareness, building capabilities, the whole ecosystem around the IT infra resources and everything. Yes, it's a significant investment which is currently happening.
Great, thank you. Kumud, what about you in your world?
So I would say we had done a research when we were doing a course on AI. We did a research on BFSI sector as to how much the banking sectors are now going to spend. So the numbers were quite interestingly from somewhere from 60 to 70% raise of
Okay,
what it was earlier, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So post-pandemic and digitalization being the core of the from the government support coming in, it raised the bar. So
great.
that kind
So thank you, Kumud. Anyone listening here, want to get business from finance companies? You just heard Kumud, 60-70% increase. So if somebody tells you there's no budget, you can tell them, we have heard a corporate vice president of a big company, 60-70%. Are you joking? There's a lot of budget. Yeah. So just a help for those who how run business. Raman, you are in that business, I guess. Yes. So you're happy, right?
Yeah. My next year annual operating plan is made.
Is made. Yeah.
Thank you, Kumar.
Yeah. Only the thing is, you need to see some agile methodology of
Yeah,
Right.
implementation so that
Obviously.
more approvals come in.
Yeah, yeah. They would do whatever you want, but they would want the budget. And Kumar is the CX leader of the year 2023. If she's leading it, everybody else must have to do
awesome.
it. So Rahul, what about you? What is
Yes,
the
I
jump?
was.
Yeah.
So I'll not put a number, but I want to give you a guiding
Same,
principle
same.
that we are using, pretty much in terms of how we are looking at technology. So very first guiding principle is that we want the technology to be the first solution before we go to a manual solution. So that's the first, guiding principle that teams would leverage. Number
Okay.
two, if that technology, whether it's a chatbot, whether it's a guided support experience, or whether it is I'm crawling through my knowledge base and be able to provide, accurate answers to my front end team and then serve my customers better, is there a way I can assess this solution can self fund and also improves the customer experience significantly? That is a business case. If you go and present this to any business leader, they'll say, wow, I mean, you do this at scale. If you can self fund and if this can improve customer experience, why not? Right?
Wow. Amazing. That's I love that these two principles are two really key principle. One is you take a decision, will automate, will do AI over manual. Obviously makes sense in these days. Second is self-funding. So that's something all the leaders, everyone who's listening, if you have to invest, you can challenge the AI vendors and innovation to be that come on, we are ready, but if you want 1 million, can you give us 3 million, 5 million, ROI? Is that this is the way, Rahul, you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes, exactly. In fact, just very last one, a mantra for us to think about it. When you look at a touch point and if you really think about, how do I go about transforming this? First, think about eliminate or obviate that the touch point should not come to me.
Mm,
If you can't eliminate, then automate.
mm,
Bring technology to automate that contact. And if you
mm,
can't automate, then innovate. So
mm.
eliminate, automate, innovate. In that order, you will see transformation in every aspect of the work that you're doing.
Fantastic. I think this is really AI driven new mantra. I'm just making eliminate, automate, or
Innovate.
innovate, right? Fantastic. Kumud, you're smiling, and Raman, you're a little concerned.
Not at all.
Obviously for the
Not
good
at all.
reason. Now you're going to challenge your teams. You
Yeah.
better do that. Yeah, I think it must be helpful, isn't it? Knowing that this is how it can work.
Yeah, yeah.
The
It
mantra
is.
is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. So yeah, Raman, you want to say something?
No, no, that's it. I think if we could also quickly touch upon the limitations around that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all are privy to what's happening around the world, right? World is grappling around um, setting up the whole foundational, framework in the country, right?
Yeah.
Unlike other developed countries, we are still not there
Hmm.
in having setting up the huge space that is required. Specifically we've been reading about GPUs and all that is required, right? So that kind of puts a lot of brakes on these AI adventures that we spoke about. I
Hmm.
think those are the limitations as well that we will have to see how things pan out, because and this is at a global level.
Yeah,
So
great. Yeah. In fact, I was recommending someone doing research that why don't you use AI? And in the beginning, there was lots of excitement. Yes, I can use, AI can give me a lot of, like if you give 100 pages, it will distill for you in few lines the crux of it. But what I learned now is that the research community, the scientific research community, has now asked not to be using it for research, right?
Yes.
So these breaks are there real, and
yeah,
sometimes they're like there's a lot of noise around the authorship, creative writing, because AI can get there as well, and it can challenge the creativity, and it can write the whole novel or the book, and that can even turn into bestsellers. But there's going to be regulation, which is
Yes.
what, Raman, you're highlighting. I agree. So for everyone who's listening, this is the other side of this powerful coin. So I'm going to start wrapping it up now. I want to first of all, quick check and if there are any questions. We've had some 45 minutes. The topic got interested. The stories gotten kept coming in. So any question posted, maybe later on we can even answer it on LinkedIn, because this message of yours will go on LinkedIn. While I also once again want to come back to the panelists for their time, for their really sharing their expertise in some of the strategies that you're using. Thank you so much for your generosity, for agreeing to be here on this interesting topic and really making the CX Day special for many people. um, I would love to get deeper into some discussions after this also, for understanding the kind of work that you're doing, and learn more from you. With that, any last message on AI for CX? Raman,
Again,
quick
we are in
one
all,
liner.
yeah, all in for AI, and I'm sure the future is
Great.
definitely all about AI, Gen AI, and all.
Right. All in for that. Yes, understood. Thank you. Rahul.
Technology is the future. Future is technology.
Okay. Got it. Absolutely. Kumud.
It's a double-edged sword, I would say. So use it cautiously. Where it is required, use it. Where you don't want, don't use it. Don't be
Fantastic.
just a part of a race. It's
Fantastic.
ultimately an experience.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you did a great job, all the panelists, all the leaders here. I think Gautam just summed it up with this beautiful one message. Wonderful two gifts on CX Day. He was in the previous panel as well. Like Rahul kind of gave a quick feedback, and even this one. So you made some people's day. This is your gift. Thank you for your gift on CX Day. So with that, more power, more magic, more fun to each one of you. Thank you so much. We'll end the stream here. Thank you to all the audience, all the viewers, everyone who contributed to this live.